So today we're going to dive into something pretty profound, our place in the universe. But we're going to look at it from a perspective that might just feel, well, surprisingly familiar. We'll be exploring the incredible ideas of philosopher Jochen Kirchhoff, who offers this really powerful new way to think about nature and, our role in the whole shebang.
But let me just start with a question for you. Have you ever looked up at the night sky, at all those stars, and just felt completely disconnected? Like all that silent, massive beauty out there has absolutely nothing to do with you down here? If you have, trust me, you are not alone.
Yeah, this feeling, it actually has a name. Some people call it cosmic loneliness, and it's a very modern feeling, a very modern condition. Understanding where it comes from is really the first step on this whole journey.
I mean, this quote just hits the nail on the head, right? It perfectly captures our situation. For so many of us, the night sky has become this gigantic backdrop. It's gorgeous, sure, but we feel like it doesn't really involve us. So we look away, we go grab a snack, we check our phones.
And this is where it gets really profound. This leads to this deep sense of isolation. We kind of see ourselves as the only conscious, feeling things in this magnificent, but ultimately lifeless mechanical universe. It's almost like we're ghosts haunting a beautiful dead machine.
Okay, so how did we even get here? I mean, this feeling, this cosmic loneliness, it wasn't always the default for humans. To really get it, we have to go back in time to this crucial turning point in how we think, a real fork in the road, where humanity chose one path and left another one behind.
If you could go way, way back, you'd find thinkers like Heraclitus. They didn't see a dead machine when they looked at the cosmos. No way. They experienced what Kirchhoff calls a very living cosmic philosophy. For them, the universe wasn't just out there, it was this vibrant, intelligent whole. And the most important part? They saw us, humanity, as a totally integral part of it.
So you can really see the two paths laid out here. On one side, you've got the living cosmos, this deeply interconnected reality that we experience with our entire being, our senses, our soul. And on the other side, the clockwork universe, a lifeless machine that we can only understand by taking it apart, by measuring it, and by treating ourselves as totally separate observers. And it's this second path, the clockwork one, that ended up dominating Western thought.
All right, so we took the clockwork universe path. What happened next? What were the consequences of choosing that worldview? What did we gain? And maybe more importantly, what did we lose along the way?
You see, in the quest to be purely objective, something pretty radical happened. The new science that was emerging, it deliberately, and I mean deliberately, removed the conscious, feeling, living human, the subject, from the entire equation. We became this generic one. One observes, one measures. We became these anonymous viewers just looking in from the outside.
And this whole worldview was built on a few, core ideas. First, that the cosmos is basically the same everywhere you look. Second, that the laws of physics are universal and unchanging. Third, and this is a big one, that any idea of a higher spiritual or conscious principle is just unscientific, irrelevant. And maybe most critically, that you can understand the whole thing just by studying its individual parts. This right here is the very foundation of reductionism.
And for Kirchhoff, the end result of all this, well, it's absolutely devastating. In a world that we see as just a machine, and with a science that totally ignores our inner life, our own humanity just gets smaller and smaller. We end up trivializing ourselves.
Okay, but it's not all doom and gloom. Not at all. Because Kirchhoff's philosophy doesn't just point out the problem, it actually offers us pathways back. It shows us clues that are hidden in our own everyday experience. Clues that can help us reconnect to a much more meaningful existence.
The first clue, it's actually in our own bodies. So let's start with what we all know, the physical body. This is the body science sees, an object a doctor can examine, something with mass and volume, something that follows the laws of physics. This is the body as seen from the outside. But now, here's the magic trick. Think about your body from the inside, right now. Kirchhoff calls this the felt body. If you close your eyes and just sense into yourself, you don't feel a clear-cut object with sharp boundaries, do you? No, you experience this flowing, sometimes vague, fluctuating field of sensation. This is where you feel joy and sadness and tension. It's where you feel your own aliveness. And this inner experience, it is every bit as real as your physical form.
And this felt body of ours, it's like a super sensitive antenna. I mean, think about walking into a room right after two people have had a huge argument. You can literally feel the tension in the air, right? Or think about the electric excitement of a crowd at a concert. Kirchhoff calls these psychoatmospheres, real, tangible emotional fields that we are constantly swimming in and picking up on directly through our felt sense.
And you know what's crazy? A clue for all this actually comes from modern biology of all places. Get this, we share over 98% of our DNA with chimpanzees. Now, if life was just the sum of its parts, the difference between us and a chimp should be tiny, but it's obviously not. It's a vast gulf. This suggests that life has to be operating on principles that go way beyond just genetics, that the whole is truly, deeply more than the sum of its parts.
So what does this all add up to? If we're not just random specks in a dead universe, and if our own inner experience actually connects us to a larger reality, then what are we doing here? What's our purpose? Kirchhoff's conclusion to all this is, well, it's both radical and incredibly powerful. And this is a wild idea. Get ready for it. The suggestion here is that our consciousness, our very existence, isn't just a passive thing. We are not spectators sitting on the sidelines. We are active participants who have a meaningful, maybe even a necessary role to play in the cosmos itself. We have a cosmic task. So, I'm going to leave you with this question to chew on. What if that feeling of separation, of being a stranger in the universe, is just an illusion we've been taught? What if the universe isn't just a place you happen to be, but something you are fundamentally a part of, with a real role to play in its amazing unfolding story? What changes if you start thinking from there?